Are you still questioning if it was really that bad? Let me tell you this. If you've been in a relationship with a narcissist, it's worse than you think. The emotional scars they leave can stick around for years, sometimes a lifetime, if you don't take control now. Narcissists are experts at tearing down your sense of self, and the road back to you is tough, but it's not impossible. Today, we're diving into what it takes to really recover after being in a narcissistic relationship. Step 1. Acknowledge the damage. Before you can even begin healing, you have to acknowledge just how much damage was done. This is about seeing the relationship for what it really was: emotional manipulation, control, and abuse. Narcissists thrive on making you feel small, dependent, and worthless. But here's the thing. You're not any of those things. You've just been convinced that you are. The first step is really acknowledging the fact that you were in an abusive relationship, no matter how subtle it might have seemed at times. The manipulation, the gaslighting, the lies, they all take a toll, and it's okay to admit that. Step 2. Cut off all contact. I know, easier said than done. But going no contact with a narcissist is essential to your healing process. This means blocking their number, unfollowing them on social media, and not giving in to the temptation to check what they're up to. They have a way of reeling you back in with fake apologies, guilt trips, or by making you feel like they've changed. But let's be real, they haven't changed. Narcissists rarely do. They just find new ways to manipulate, and the longer you stay in their orbit, the harder it is to heal. Cutting them off completely gives you the space to start focusing on yourself again. It's like clearing out the toxins that have been poisoning your mind and emotions. Step 3. Rediscover your identity. Now that you're out, it's time to rediscover who you are. Start with the basics. What do you like? What are your hobbies, your passions, your dreams? Take time to explore activities that make you feel alive again, whether it's painting, writing, exercising, or even just spending time in nature. The goal is to reconnect with yourself in ways that don't involve anyone else's approval. Step 4. Seek support. Recovering from narcissistic abuse isn't something you can do alone. Surround yourself with people who understand what you've been through, whether that's friends, family, or even a therapist. Therapy can be especially helpful, particularly if you're struggling with feelings of shame, guilt, or confusion. Talking to someone who understands narcissistic abuse can help you process your emotions in a healthy way. It's easy to feel like you're overreacting or being dramatic when you talk about what you went through, especially if the abuse wasn't physical. But emotional and psychological abuse can be just as damaging, if not more so, and having someone validate your experience is crucial for healing. Step 5. Set boundaries. This step is huge, especially if you've been conditioned to always put other people's needs before your own. Narcissists are boundary bulldozers. They don't respect your limits, and they push you to do things you're not comfortable with, saying no when you need to, without feeling guilty about it. It means protecting your time, your energy, and your mental health by not letting people take advantage of you. It's not selfish to put yourself first. It's necessary. This is the most powerful tools you can have as you rebuild your life. Step 6. Rebuild your self-esteem. It's common to feel worthless or broken after leaving a narcissistic relationship because they thrive on making you believe that you're nothing without them. But here's the truth. You were always enough. You still are. It's just that you've been conditioned to forget that. Start by challenging the negative thoughts you have about yourself. When that little voice in your head starts telling you that you're not good enough, stop and ask yourself, where is this coming from? Is this really how you feel, or is this something the narcissist planted in your mind? You might want to keep a journal where you write down the negative thoughts you have about yourself and then counter them with positive affirmations. For example, if you catch yourself thinking, I'm not lovable, write that down and then challenge it with, I am worthy of love and respect. It might feel weird at first, especially if you're not used to thinking positively about yourself. But over time, these small acts of self-kindness can make a huge difference. Step 7. Learn to trust again. When someone you love lies, manipulates, and deceives you for so long, it can leave you feeling like you'll never be able to trust anyone again, not even yourself. But here's the thing, learning to trust again is possible. It's just going to take time and patience. Start by trusting your instincts again. If something feels off, it probably is. If a situation or a person makes you uncomfortable, listen to that inner voice and honor it. Rebuilding self-trust is key to healing, because once you can trust yourself, it becomes easier to trust others again. You don't have to dive into new relationships or friendships right away. In fact, it's okay to take a break from dating altogether while you focus on healing. When you do start forming new relationships, be mindful of how you feel around these people. Do they make you feel safe? Do they respect your boundaries? Trust is something that should be earned, not given freely, especially after what you've been through. Step 8. Break the trauma bond. Trauma bond is the emotional attachment that forms between the victim and the abuser. It's why you might still feel drawn to the narcissist, even after everything they've put you through. This bond is especially strong in narcissistic relationships because the highs and lows of the relationship create a kind of emotional addiction. The narcissist gives you just enough love, attention, or approval to keep you hooked, and then they pull it away, leaving you desperate for more. It's like being on an emotional roller coaster that you can't seem to get off of. But to truly heal, you have to break this bond. Understand that the feelings you have toward the narcissist are not a sign of love. They're a result of emotional manipulation. It's like being addicted to something that's bad for you. You crave the highs, but you ignore the devastating lows that always follow. Remind yourself of why the relationship was toxic. Write down the ways the narcissist hurt you or manipulated you, and keep that list handy for when you feel tempted to reach out to them. Over time, the emotional hold they have over you will weaken, and you'll start to feel free again. Step 9. Forgive yourself. You might think, how did I let this happen? Why didn't I see the red flags? Why did I stay for so long? These thoughts can haunt you, but it's important to remember that the narcissist is incredibly skilled at manipulation. It's not your fault that you got caught in their web. Abusers like narcissists are experts at exploiting vulnerabilities, and everyone has vulnerabilities. Whether it was your empathy, your desire for love, or your tendency to give people the benefit of the doubt, the narcissist used these traits against you. But these are not weaknesses, they're strengths. The problem wasn't you, it was them. Start practicing self-compassion. Be as kind to yourself as you would be to a close friend who went through the same thing. You wouldn't blame them for being manipulated, so don't blame yourself either. Step 10. Create a vision for your future. One of the best ways to fully recover from a narcissistic relationship is to create a new vision for your future. What do you want your life to look like now that the narcissist is no longer a part of it? Start by setting goals for yourself, both big and small. Maybe you want to focus on your career, travel, or learn something new. Or maybe you just want to live a peaceful, drama-free life where you're surrounded by people who respect and care for you. Whatever your goals are, write them down and start taking steps toward achieving them. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to sharing more valuable relationship content with you soon.